The decision comes on a wet afternoon, which feels appropriate, because most serious British life choices begin under grey cloud. Your payslip lands with all the warmth of a parking fine. Rent has gone up, your pay has not, and the future is starting to look less like possibility and more like a corridor with bad wallpaper. You are old enough to feel embarrassed by drift and young enough to believe one hard decision can still sort you out. Around you, people are becoming things. Tradesmen, nurses, students, men with vans and opinions. You are becoming excellent at saying, "I'm figuring it out," which is usually what people say when absolutely nothing is figured out. The army offers something brutally simple: pay, food, routine, a bed, a ladder, a name for yourself that does not need explaining every time someone asks what you do. You do not walk into the careers office because you are desperate for camouflage and shouted instructions. You walk in because you are tired of your life feeling optional. The offer is not freedom in the usual sense. It is the opposite. Give up control, and in return, they give you shape. At that point, shape sounds close enough to hope. The process starts long before you wear anything worth photographing. Medicals, aptitude tests, interviews, fitness standards, forms, more forms, and enough waiting around to suggest the Army's first lesson is that hurry up and stand by is not just a phrase, but a governing philosophy. You meet lads chasing different versions of the same thing. Some want purpose, some want escape, some want status, some want money. Some want to prove a teacher, a father, or an ex wrong, which is never the healthiest reason to choose a career, but it does wonders for short-term commitment. Then Catterick gets hold of you, and all the cinematic nonsense burns off in about 3 days. Adult infantry recruits complete the combat infantry course there, folding Phase 1 and Phase 2 together into one long initiation that takes around 28 to 30 weeks, depending on route and intake. Training does not begin by making you a warrior. It begins by making you manageable. Reveille, physical exercise, drill, breakfast inhaled rather than enjoyed, weapon handling, classroom lessons, fieldcraft, inspections, cleaning, more physical, more cleaning. Your days become so structured that making your own decision about when to sit down starts to feel rebellious. Your body hurts in very specific places you did not know had opinions. Your shoulders complain. Your feet file grievances. Your lungs discover that tabbing uphill with weight is a different sport entirely. You learn to iron things nobody in civilian life has ever respected, and clean surfaces already cleaner than most kitchens in Britain. What matters at this level is not glamour, aggression, or natural bravado. It is consistency under discomfort. Can you be cold, wet, tired, confused, and still do the simple things properly? Can you keep your mouth shut when being corrected by someone whose entire personality appears to be built from caffeine and disappointment? Can you stop taking everything personally? You still think toughness means intensity. Training teaches you that toughness mostly means being boringly dependable while your body tries to negotiate an exit. The pay during this stage is stable rather than spectacular, and that stability feels almost luxurious when the civilian version of your life has been held together with denial and overdraft logic. A fully trained private infantry soldier starts on £26,334, which is not flashy, but it is real money with a system behind it.
If you don't mind taking a second, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated.
Outsiders see the uniform and picture confidence. From the inside, you mostly feel hunger, fatigue, homesickness, and the low-level terror of becoming the recruit everyone remembers as a liability. You gain discipline, structure, and the first hard edge of identity. You give up comfort, privacy, and any belief that motivation matters more than routine. Motivation disappears early. Routine drags you the rest of the way. Passing out feels like arrival, right up until you join battalion and realize nobody is especially impressed. Training gets you through the door. Battalion life decides whether you belong in the room. As a private soldier, your day settles into a rhythm the Army knows by heart. Morning PT, then whatever the unit needs. whether that means weapon cleaning, vehicle maintenance, lessons, ranges, stores, battle drills, admin, or another exercise that begins with enthusiasm and ends with mud in places mud should never be. That rhythm lines up with how Army recruiters describe life after infantry training. Physically demanding, structured, and full of routine soldiering rather than cinematic, constant action. To friends back home, you are now in the Army. To the platoon, you are the new lad, which is a lower social rank than the kettle. That difference matters. In the field, life narrows fast. You move, carry, dig, watch, listen, eat badly, sleep badly, and learn that a dry pair of socks can have a stronger emotional effect than most relationships. The key skill now is reliability. Not charisma, not dramatic courage, reliability. Can you turn up squared away without being hunted? Can you keep your kit right, your rifle clean, your timings tight, and your ego under control? You still do not understand how careers really move. You think hard work naturally gets noticed. Then you see men who are fit but immature, capable but lazy, switched on but untrustworthy. You realize promotion is not just about effort. It is about whether people above you trust you not to become somebody else's problem. The pressure here comes from comparison. The infantry is full of mirrors you did not ask for. Somebody is always fitter, faster, calmer, or better in the field than you. Some of that pushes you. Some of it quietly unsettles you. As you become an experienced private, something changes. You stop feeling like a guest in your own life. You know how to pack for the field, how to manage fatigue, how to look after your feet before they betray you, how to keep going without needing praise every 5 minutes. You may become trusted on a radio, a weapon system, a vehicle, or just as the man who never needs telling twice. That matters more than the outside world understands. Civilians hear the word soldier and flatten everybody into one category. Inside the platoon, levels are obvious. Some men carry weight, some carry excuses. This is often the stage where the Army starts giving you the things civilians respect. Travel, exercises overseas, deployments, stories that sound sharper over pints than they feel while you are living them. The trade-off becomes visible too. You miss birthdays, weddings, funerals, ordinary weekends, all the dull little civilian rituals that quietly hold a life together. People outside admire the uniform, but do not see the waiting, the cancelled leave, or the fact that your time no longer belongs entirely to you. Some leave here because the shine wears off. Some stay because the hardship starts making sense. Promotion to Lance Corporal changes your world in an awkward, very Army sort of way. The pay rises to £32,615, and with that stripe comes enough authority to be blamed from 2 directions at once. You are no longer just one of the lads, but you are still close enough to hear every complaint and spot every bluff. Your job becomes half doing and half making sure others can do. You check standards, correct drills, mentor younger soldiers, pass orders down, and try not to sound like the sort of man you used to take the piss out of. The skill that matters now is credibility. If you cannot do the job, nobody follows you properly. If you can do it, but cannot teach it, rank only turns you into background noise. You still do not understand how lonely junior leadership can feel. You think promotion will feel like validation. Sometimes it feels more like being handed a mop and informed that every spill in the building is now your concern. You gain status, better pay, and proof that the Army trusts you a bit. You give up the easy warmth of just being a mate. As a corporal and section commander, the profession sharpens. Corporals are on £37,861, and for the first time, the money looks properly respectable against where you begin. But every pound seems attached to responsibility. You plan training, run battle drills, inspect kit, deal with weak performers, protect your soldiers from unnecessary nonsense, and still perform physically at a high level. You are close enough to the ground truth to know when orders from above ignore reality, but not high enough to redesign the system. That tension becomes part of the job. This is where another hidden rule appears. Competence gets you promoted, judgment keeps you there. The army no longer just wants you hard. It wants you steady, articulate, trustworthy, and dull in all the right ways. You start seeing that leadership is less about volume and more about emotional control. If you flap, your section flaps. If you coast, standards slip. If you overcorrect, morale dies. Outsiders hear section commander and picture constant action. Quite often, you are solving admin, welfare, discipline, and human stupidity with the patience of a school teacher and the facial expression of a man reconsidering every choice since GCS as. By sergeant, usually as a platoon sergeant, the infantry stops feeling like a team you belong to and starts feeling like a machine you keep from shaking apart. Sergeants are on £42,510, which confirms the career is paying more now. But the extra money comes tied to pressure you cannot put down at the end of the day. Younger soldiers see status, officers see experience. You see welfare issues, training demands, weak junior leaders, injury management, family strain, accommodation drama, and the permanent requirement to make standards look natural. Your days are less about proving you can endure and more about ensuring others do not quietly fail when nobody is looking. You know who is struggling with debt, who is drinking too much, whose relationship is collapsing, who needs pressure, who needs protecting, who is pretending to cope, because infantry culture is not exactly built around emotional vocabulary. That becomes the new burden. Not just leading men in the field, but carrying parts of their private lives without making a performance of it. You gain influence, trust, and authority. You give up simplicity. From there, the ladder rises into the senior ranks. Color Sergeant broadens the job further. The money increases again with seniority, and so does the distance between your rank and the life of a new private. You are no longer proving you are tough. You are proving you are dependable at scale. You oversee training, discipline, standards, stores, welfare, and the smaller failures that turn into larger ones when nobody catches them early. The pressure becomes less physical and more permanent, better hidden, more administrative, more political, and in some ways harder to shake off. As a WO2, often serving as a company sergeant major, you stop simply enforcing standards and begin to embody them. Your pay rises again with rank and service, and so does the expectation that your example should settle a room before you say a word. Officers listen differently now. Junior ranks straighten when you appear. Your days are filled with inspections, readiness, ceremonial standards, discipline, welfare escalations, and the unglamorous work of keeping a company sharp. Outsiders think seniority means less hardship. In reality, it often means less mud and more mental load, which is a very British trade. Fewer blisters, more meetings. And then, after enough years, enough reports, enough courses, enough moments where you stay steady while others wobble, you reach WO1. At battalion level, that can mean becoming the Regimental Sergeant Major, the senior soldier whose presence carries the weight of standards, discipline, bearing, and institutional memory. Army recruitment sources make clear that soldiers can rise all the way to WO1, though getting there is a long career rather than a quick climb. By now, the money is far beyond where you started, but money is no longer the point. Influence is the point. You walk into a room and people hear the institution in your voice. That is when the whole ladder finally makes sense. You join for money, purpose, status, escape, or pride. The infantry gives you each one, but never cleanly. It gives you belonging by taking freedom. It gives you status by putting you through years of correction, testing, repetition, and quiet remaking. It gives you decent pay over time, but only in exchange for your joints, your time, your relationships, and your ability to ever see ordinary civilian life as entirely convincing again. And that is the truth you end up living with. Every rank gives more and takes more. The recruit thinks training is the hard part. The private thinks competence will bring comfort. The lance corporal thinks authority will end insecurity. The corporal thinks experience will reduce pressure. The sergeant thinks seniority will bring control. Then you stand at the top of the soldier's ladder and understand that the army never really removes weight. It just moves it higher up your back, gives it a better title, and expects you to carry it without making a fuss, which by then you do.